morning's bulletin, the news headlines. 6th Nigerian Inspector General of Police, Etomokoniyan, goes home in style. Governor Dom Emmanuel reminds the paramount ruler of Eket that his choice is to serve the people. Professor of Forest Resource Management and Economics wants federal and state governments to strengthen forest data collection. Former president and communist revolutionist Fidel Castro kicks the bucket. Details of these and other stories in a moment. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News at Dawn. I am Inyodu Ubonbasi. The body of the retired Inspector General of Police, Chief Etomokoniyan, has been buried in his hometown, Enwang, in Bo local government area. At a colorful burial richly attended by people from all walks of life, including the current Inspector General of Police, Governor Dom Emmanuel, retired Inspectors General of Police, Deputy Inspectors General of Police, the Deputy Governor, former military and civilian governors of the state, members of the state and national assemblies, and clergies. The virtues of the late IG were extolled. The President Muhammadu Buhari, in a condolence presented by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, described the late Etomokoniyan as a gentleman who rose through the ranks to become Inspector General, having joined the police as a constable. Governor Dom Emmanuel, in a condolence on behalf of the people of Akwa Ibom State, said that the state was grieved that she has lost one of her finest, honest father who lived a life worthy of emulation. We shall bring you detailed story of the burial of Chief Etomokoniyan in our subsequent news bulletin. Eket people have been commended for their choice of Edidem Etom Charles Daniel Abia as the paramount ruler of Eket local government area. Governor Dom Emmanuel made the commendation at the coronation of the paramount ruler at the Eket Sports Stadium, Eket. Colonel Edem Efreti reports.
Governor Dom Emmanuel said he was delighted that the people of Eket chose a man of worthy character who is enterprising as their paramount ruler. The governor said he was happy too that Edidem Abia had accepted to serve the people as their paramount ruler, adding that he was ready to work with him to ensure the progress of the area. He assured the people of his commitment to developing the state and completing ongoing projects, among which is the Eket Ibn Road, which he hopes to commission by the first quarter of 2017.
I'm happy that we have accepted this office so that we can work together. It's not time to make noise. All over the world, everybody is using one word: execution. 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 Not time to talk too much, it's time to work. And I'm happy, even at 80, he's looking like a young man of 15 years. Because he's looking too young and too strong. We need entrepreneurs in the world today.
The coronation of Edidem Etom Abia as the paramount ruler of Eket was led by the Prelate Emeritus of the Methodist Church Nigeria, Dr. Sunday Mbang, who prayed that the Edidem may rule well and that the people he is set to lead may benefit from his rulership.
And today, from now till death do him part, he remains King of Eket local government. In the name of the Father, Amen. And of the Son, Amen. And of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The new paramount ruler of Eket, Edidem Etom Charles Daniel Abia, said he assumed the office conscious of his responsibility to protect and defend the interests of the people and to advise and direct them in a way that will enhance their interest. The paramount ruler, who is well known by his initials, ECD Abia, expressed appreciation to Governor Dom Emmanuel for giving hope to the people of Eket Senatorial District, the government's efforts to make the monarch comfortable, and called for a law to make it mandatory for a percentage of local government revenue to go for financing traditional institutions.
I thank you on behalf of the people of Eket. We can be sure that we'll work together
a better place.
Goodwill messages were received from the chairman, State Council of Chief Owong Efyong-Achanga, among others, at the event, which had many cultural troops entertaining. Colonel Edem Efreti reporting.
Love and unity have been described as the bedrock on which every association and group can succeed. The wife of the governor, Mrs. Martha Odom Emmanuel, made the assertion at the inauguration of Mbowe Bani Besikwa Sultan, MIIA, held at the Ibesikwa Sultan local government headquarters grounds. The story is here presented.
Mrs. Emmanuel lauded the initiative of creating rallying points for the women of Ibesikwa Sultan with the aim of supporting the development goals of the government. She added that the gesture will aid the smooth operation and accessibility for the government and encouraged them to live up to the tenets of the association. The governor's wife expressed appreciation to political stakeholders, men, women, and youth groups who have supported the government in diverse ways and encouraged the people to live in unity, and promised to set up a center to empower the youths of the area through skills acquisition. Mrs. Emmanuel, on behalf of FERA, presented empowerment kits to some indigents of the Ibesikwa Sultan local government area.
I keep telling people,
the wife of the chairman, Ibesikwa Sultan Transition Committee, Mrs. Grace Ukana, in her welcome address, commended the governor's wife for always touching lives through her pet project, Family Empowerment and Youth Reorientation Program, FERE. Inaugurating the Mbowe Bani Ibesikwa Sultan, the council chairman, Barrister Ukana Undofa, who administered the oath on the women, advised them to abide by the constitution of the group. The president of the group, Lady Ememeyo, said that the organization comprises of women with a common vision and promise to support the developmental strides of government. The chairman, State Technical Education Board, Barrister Comfort Etuk, PDP chapter chairman, Elder Okonedem Ofyong, among others, presented goodwill messages as they expressed gratitude to the governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, for delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Ibesikwa Sultan. They especially thanked the wife of the governor for her magnanimity and passion to initiate measures to take care of the vulnerable, the less privileged, and the needy in the society.
Also, Mrs. Martha Udom Emmanuel has appealed to Akwa Ibom women in various walks of life to stand in the gap to touch lives in their respective domains. Mrs. Manuel made the appeal during the November edition of the Women's Monthly Prayer Summit held at the banquet hall of the Government House, Uyo. The story is here presented in our studios.
She argued that making a difference does not require much, but sharing a little with the needy in the society. As she puts it, as a government dignitary, make a difference in your locality by lending a helping hand to the needy in this Yuletide. If we come together, a lot will be accomplished and more lives will be touched. Mrs. Emmanuel called on all to join hands with the government to build the state, telling that the governor was more committed to ensuring that every Akwa Ibomite was economically independent.
In your respective positions, you are leaders, and you are supposed to be impactful in your locality. So we are coming here today, the Spirit of God has transferred the burden I have on this stage upon him also, to go out there and make a difference by touching the lives of people in your own little way.
Preaching on the theme, Working with God, the officiating minister, Pastor Christy Blazer, charged the women to always work with God, saying when they yield themselves to God, they will make a difference. Genesis 5 verse 24, Pastor Blessed put out that Enoch worked with God and he took over his affairs. She admonished the women to make a commitment to God by having a relationship with him in order to be lifted spiritually and physically.
But God is not like man. When you decide to stand by him, he brings honor to you. And this morning, Akwa Ibom State is yet to be honored again.
Federal and state governments have been asked to collaborate and strengthen the forestry data collection mechanism through frequent market surveys and comprehensive inventories of forest resources in the country. A professor of Forest Resources Management and Economics in the University of Uyo, Professor Enefio Udo, gave the advice while delivering the 51st inaugural lecture of the university. Etienne Oibanga has more details.
The 51st inaugural lecture of the University of Uyo had the topic, Our Forest, Uses, Management and Abuses. Delivering the 95-page lecture, Professor Enefio Udo noted that people see forests as a free gift of nature which should be exploited freely without concern for its sustainability and impact on the environment. Forest is said as central to human life because they provide diverse goods and services that man requires for his survival. Professor Odop explained that the forest provides environmental protection, nutrient cycling, aesthetics and leisure, employment, education research, revenue for government, soil protection, erosion control, habitat for wildlife, carbon sequestration, and climate change mitigation. He pointed out that globally more than 2 billion people depend on wood energy for cooking and food preservation, as well as production of furniture items such as tables, stools, chairs, beds, doors, and windows. The Don described forestry as a business with social and economic implications which must be managed properly to ensure profitability and social benefits to the people. He regretted that the public, the government and forestry personnel have abused the forest. For good forest management, Professor Odo said forest managers must have adequate information about the stock of resources that has been managed so that he can plan for financing, staffing, control of the resources, harvest and replanting. He professed that government, which presently manages the forest in trust for the people, must manage it effectively and efficiently by improving funding of the forestry subsector for adequate equipment, reforestation and maintenance operation. The lecturer recommended that green spaces, including urban forests, should be established and maintained in urban areas to cool the environment, check wind speed, reduce dust and other airborne particles, act as carbon sink to contribute to the mitigation of climate change, as well as provide wood, fruits and seeds to the people. He also called for the implementation of the 2006 National Forest Policy to chart a way for reforms in forest resources management in the country.
The forestry department is not replanting what they have given permit to be harvested and are waiting for the forest to regenerate on their own. When will that be? This is why many species are now threatened or extinct.
The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Enefio Estienne, commended the 51st inaugural lecturer for the choice of the topic, Our Forest, Uses, Management and Abuses, saying that it was apt as sustainable forest management is of great significance in meeting the demands of forest products today and in the future.
I strongly thank the inaugural lecturer for today for the topic he's chosen, because it's gone to an area that many of us take for granted, forests. Animals we don't find again because they have no habitat. Forests were given the habitat, natural habitat. So without forests they cannot be, and with forests they are sure to have them. How about global warming? These are all contemporary issues. That's why I think that the topic itself is very topical.
Inaugural lectures provide an opportunity for new professors to share their achievements in research, innovation, engagement, and teaching activities before an audience of members of the university community and the public. Etienne Ibanga reporting.
You're watching AKBC 45 News at Dawn. Please stay on as we have more news for you after this break.
Going down.
The law is the law.
The custom has taken steps to recover these funds.
State of the Nation, high-profile political interactive. Join us every Thursday on AM45.
Welcome from the break. It's still AKBC 45 News at Dawn. A 2-day workshop on preventive health talk aimed at preserving a vibrant local government workforce with emphasis on diabetes mellitus has ended in Uyo. The workshop, which drew health workers from the 31 local governments in the state and elders in the 3 senatorial districts, was organized by the Local Government Service Commission. Eyaleno Paul has the details.
Declaring the workshop open, the Chairman, Local Government Service Commission, Dr. Valentine Atta, said that the goal of any preventive health talk is to protect, promote, and maintain the well-being by preventing diseases and death among the people. Atta says that the workshop was designed to further develop the capacity of participants for prevention, as many people have died of preventable diseases. He noted that the preventive health care is important given the rise in prevalence of chronic diseases, adding that the program will sharpen the skills of health workers in the local government system. Dr. Ta urged the participants to make good use of the opportunity, as capable resource persons in the health sector have been engaged to speak to them.
To my mind, this workshop is right on time. The popular saying, prevention is better than cure, calls for routine medical check-ups. As a culture,
a resource person, Mrs. Victoria Ibanga, in a lecture, Diabetes, Threats to Healthy Living, said diabetes mellitus is a group of metabolic disease characterized by chronic and sustained elevated plasma glucose because of insulin deficiency or insensitivity of insulin, resulting in high morbidity and mortality among the sufferers. Mrs. Ibanga listed groups of diabetes to be clinical, asymptomatic, latent, potential, and pre, and explained that diabetes are 2 types. Type 1 is hereditary and rare, and type 2 caused by lifestyle and diet. Mrs. Grace Uyo, who spoke on diabetes mellitus, its impact on family, community, and national economy, said effects of diabetes on people include psychological shock, grief, anger, and denial. Impact on national economy, the resource person noted, include increased government expenditure, reduction of income, and loss of production capacity. Dr. Owemedimbo Ekanum of the University of Uyo, who spoke on lifestyle modification, a panacea to the increasing rate of diabetes mellitus, says that the disease, especially type 2, can be prevented if people watch their lifestyle. These lifestyle, Dr. Ekanum noted, include overweight due to excess food intake, alcohol, smoking, Western diet, consumption of canned food, and lack of physical exercise. Symptoms of diabetes as listed by the resource persons include frequent urination, blood vision, weight loss, frequent infection, untimely healing of wound, tingling or numbness, and dry itchy skin.
The major goal of the health worker is to care for the well-being of members. A healthy nation is a wealthy nation. An estimated 7.8 million persons were reported to have this disease. Out of these, 1.5 million are below 45 years of age.
Lifestyles such as unhealthy diet and even poor sexual habits have contributed to the prevalence of non-communicable diseases in our communities.
Farm health personnel and elders contributed ideas to the event and also appreciated the commission for the exercise.
Thank His Excellency for appointing me my last chairman. I want to say that we are satisfied to all people.
I was wondering when you invited some of us, the relationship between the elders and the local government service workers. And I have come to see that we stand to gain a lot in this synergy that we have brought about.
Certificates were issued to the participants, including elders of the 3 senatorial districts who attended the workshop. Paul reporting.
Governor Udom Emmanuel has charged indigents of the state studying in higher institutions of learning to help to showcase and promote the rich cultural heritage of Akwa Ibom State. The governor was speaking at this year's National Association of Akwa Ibom State Students NAKIS Cultural Day University of Uyo chapter celebration. Correspondent Livingstone Daniel reports that the celebration featured the launching of the NAKIS magazine called The Dawn.
Represented by the immediate past Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Gloria Ded, Governor Emmanuel described culture as a way of life of a particular people, noting that every tribe has a culture, emphasizing that anyone without a culture is dead. He described the state as very rich in culture, which should be showcased to the outside world and capable of attracting investors and tourists to the state. Governor Emmanuel enumerated his policies and programs in the educational sector and appealed to the students to continue to maintain peace in their campuses and launch the magazine.
I celebrate with you today because in you lies the future of Akwa Ibom State, and you have exposed yourselves to the right skills needed to embrace that future with hope and dare. This event stands out from the past because today I have come to charge you to rise to the feather of greatness. I have come to challenge Akwa Ibom students that Akwa Ibom State was created by God out of greatness. Dakada, this is why I am here.
Former Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Mrs. Akune Yahi, and the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Barrister Nyofio Luke, represented by Ms. Usoro Panuso, said youth are the leaders of tomorrow, hence the need for them to be of good characters, morals, and to study hard, which according to them would prepare them for future leadership position. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Enefio Essien, represented by the Dean Student Affairs, Dr. Isong Solomon, and the Chairman on the occasion, Professor Kingsley Akbabio, said the institution will continue to create enabling environment for students, irrespective of state, tribe, or religion, to engage in legal extracurricular activities. They advise the student to maintain peace at all times and to channel every grievances, if any, through appropriate channels.
The Nigerian students of this great university is well appreciated by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Enefio Essien. But I want to say today that NAKIS as a whole is a strong channel for that, to promote unity, orderliness, and a smooth relationship between the students, the state, and even the federal government.
NAKIS is a representation of Akwa Ibom of tomorrow, and there is no reason why we should not nurture NAKIS.
The president of NAKIS, University of Uyo chapter, Comrade Isifaita, said the Cultural Day celebration is an annual event aimed at showcasing the rich cultural values of the state. Davidson Daniel reporting.
The Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State Chapter, has announced the schedule for the conduct of elections slated for 5th December 2016. This follows the inauguration of the Electoral Committee by the chairman of SWAN, Elder Wim Eko, with Elder Dade Ikodidem of the Radio Chapel as chairman, Timothy Ekbo of the Pioneer Chapel as secretary, and Keresifone Sien as the Consolidated Chapel as member. A statement from the committee states that sales of nomination forms into offices of the association, chairman, vice chairman, secretary, assistant secretary, treasurer and financial secretary will commence on Monday, November 28th. The forms will be returned on or before Wednesday, November 30th. The statement explains that list of cleared candidates for the election together with the list of eligible voters will be displayed on Friday, 2nd December 2016, while presentation of manifesto will be on Monday, December 5th, before the election at the Uyo Township Stadium by noon. The Electoral Committee has also approved rates for the nomination forms. Chairman and Vice Chairman will attract 20,000 naira, while Secretary, Assistant Secretary, Treasurer and Financial Secretary will go for 15,000 naira. The committee in a statement says interested candidates should pick up the form with the Secretary of the committee at the Pioneer office or call 0803 262 3932 or 0802 891 5660. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to ensure that 2017 budget is not padded. Former President and communist revolutionist Fidel Castro has died at the age of 90. This and other stories from our Channel 45 National and International News Desk.
President Muhammadu Buhari has said that he will ensure that the 2017 budget is not padded and that he will not allow rogue projects and figures to infiltrate the financial documents. President Buhari's promise was made known by his media aide Femi Adesina, who added that the Buhari administration stands by its promises of securing the country, reviving the economy, and fighting corruption. The people of Ondo State have cast votes to decide who becomes the next governor. 28 candidates vied for the governorship seat, including Eyitayo Jegede of the state's ruling PDP, Rotimi Akeredolu of APC, Olushola Oke of the AD, and Olu Agunloye of the SDP. According to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, 1,659,186 voters were registered for the election. 378,606 of them did not turn up to collect their permanent voter cards, leaving 1,280,580 eligible to vote. The federal government had deployed 26,000 policemen and 15,000 personnel from the Nigeria Security and Defense Corps to maintain law and order, along with some military officers. Meanwhile, there are reports of violence as supporters of some rival parties clashed. The winner of Ondo governorship election will succeed Dr. Olusegun Mimiku. On the foreign scene, Cuba's former president and leader of the communist revolution, Fidel Castro, has died at the age of 90. The revolutionary icon was one of the world's most controversial leaders who survived many assassination attempts. He died on Friday night after suffering from prolonged illness. Fidel Castro's death was announced by his younger brother, Raul Castro, who assumed the presidency of Cuba in 2006 after Fidel suffered a near-fatal ailment. While some Cubans are mourning the passing of an icon who fought U.S. imperialism, there are others who insist he was a cruel dictator.
To end this morning's news, another look at our top stories. Eket people have been commended for their choice of Edidemetum Charles Daniel Abia as the paramount ruler of Eket local government. The governor, Mr. Dome Emmanuel, made the commendation at the coronation of the paramount ruler at the Eket Sports Stadium, Eket. That's the news. Remember, you can also watch AKBC 45 News by going online to akbconline.org or follow us on our Twitter handle at AKBC45Uyo or on our Facebook page at AKBC Channel 45. That's the news bulletin this morning. Have a pleasant Sunday.